This video is brought to you by the Army Painter. Hello my friends and welcome back to the channel. I'm Keewa and today we're going to be focusing once again on humanoid skin, with 10 handsome ogres acting as my lovely assistants. The range of tones humanoid skin can take is absolutely vast, and as such we need to narrow down the shades we're going to tackle in order to make the prospect more manageable. Classifying human skin by colour is obviously a topic that's fraught with problems, so for the purposes of this video I'll be using a measure called the Monk Skin Tone Scale. This metric, created by Ellis Monk and Google, categorises the full gamut of human skin in 10 different categories. How fortunate that I happen to have 10 ogres right here. It's almost as if I planned it or something. Anyway, here are the 10 tones we'll be covering, from very pale to very dark. We'll be using the Army Painter Fanatic paints for this, mostly as is, but some will require a significant amount of mixing. If you don't already have a wet palette, now's a good time to make or buy one. For other hobby how-tos, tactics, lore and more, pay a visit at goonhammer.com, like and subscribe here on YouTube, and consider supporting us on Patreon. For the first, most pallid skin tone, I chose to prime this ogre in white, mostly because layering up a light skin from a dark undercoat is an exercise in frustration. We'll start with an all-over base coat of opal skin, making sure we get a smooth, even coverage with none of the white showing through. Once that's done, we'll paint all the upward-facing areas with pearl skin, leaving the opal skin showing in the shadows and recesses. After this, we'll need to do some mixing, adding a little matte white to the pearl skin, and we'll paint this mix on the highest parts of the model, the shoulders, the forehead, nose, ears, cheeks, as well as the crown of the head. To finish off, we'll thin down Crusader skin with some speed paint medium and paint it into the details of the face and between the fingers. With a little more matte white added to the mix, we'll do some edge highlights on the sharpest parts, the knuckles on the hand, the nose and the eyebrow. For the second tone, I primed once again in white for the same reason as before. We'll take a step down and use ruby skin or leopard stone skin as the base coat for our slightly darker skin, painted all over in thin coats for a smooth, even coverage. With that dry, we'll layer the upper parts with opal skin, leaving the ruby skin in the recesses and the downward facing parts. Finally, highlight the tops of the shoulders, crown of the head, eyebrows, nose and knuckles with pearl skin. Once again, use a little Crusader skin to shade the face and between the fingers. For the third tone, I primed in grey. We'll start with an all-over layer of agate skin as before. With that dry, we'll paint everything but the lowermost surfaces and recesses with barbarian flesh. Make sure you begin your brush stroke at the lowest part and drag the paint upwards, leaving the most paint where you end your stroke. Keep the coats thin and make sure that the paint is fully dried before you paint your second coat. If you're not careful, you might tear the still drying paint and make a terrible mess. With that done, layer the higher parts with ruby skin and edge highlight the nose, cheeks, forehead and crown with ruby skin mixed with a little opal skin. For this one I primed in grey before base coating all over with amber skin. This will give us a nice foundation for the light olive skin tone we're trying to achieve. Shade the detail of the face and the gaps between the fingers with some thinned down warrior skin. Paint the upper parts of the skin with Dorado skin, drawing the paint upwards to emphasize the volumes of the muscles. Repeat with quartz skin in a smaller area on the highest parts. And finally, highlight the sharpest parts with quartz skin mixed with a little pale sand. Once again, over a grey primer undercoat, base coat with a strong covering of mocha skin. making sure that it's strong and smooth. Paint the upward facing parts of the skin with some amber skin. Wash between the fingers and around the face with thinned down warrior skin. Edge highlight with a mix of Dorado skin and quartz skin. I also primed in grey for this one. We'll base coat all over with mocha skin, this time mixed 1-to-1 with onyx skin. Wash this either with some strong skin shade or some thinned down speed paint warrior skin. Then layer the mocha skin up on the highest parts, leaving the darker tone unwashed to sit in the recesses. Once that's done, grab a bit of amber skin and use this to do some edge highlights on the face and the knuckles. Start by priming in grey and then layer all over with some dryad brown. Then shade with a wash of dark skin shade. Once the shade is dried, go back over that with a coat of dryad brown, leaving the wash in the deepest recesses and downward facing parts. Then paint the upper areas with a mix of dryad brown and ruddy terra. With that dry, edge highlight the sharpest parts and highest surfaces with ruddy terra. For this one I primed black. We'll start with an all over coat of oak brown, making sure to get a nice even coverage. With that dry, we'll layer everything but the deepest recesses with some tree ancient, before shading with a very thin wash of dark skin shade. Once the wash is dried, we'll layer the uppermost parts with dryad brown, before edge highlighting with a mix of dryad brown and fur brown. Start by priming black before painting an all-over coat of obsidian skin. Once that's dry, wash everything with dark skin shade. With the wash dry, paint over everything but the deepest recesses with another coat of obsidian skin, before highlighting the upward-facing parts with onyx skin. Finish by edge highlighting the sharpest parts with mocha skin. Begin by priming black, then paint all over with a 2-to-1-to-1 mix of obsidian skin, matte black and terrestrial titan. With that dry, make another mix of 2-to-1 obsidian skin and terrestrial titan and layer everything but the deepest recesses. Highlight with a 2-to-1 mix of mocha skin and terrestrial titan. And there you have it, 10 easy ways to paint skin tones, perfect for your elves, dwarves, humans, halflings and ogres. For more hobby how-tos, tactics, lore and more, pay us a visit at goonhammer.com. like and subscribe here on YouTube, and consider supporting us on Patreon. I've been Keewa, thank you for watching.